Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's drawing, it's kind of, as I was describing last week, it's going to be kind of a continuation of the story. If you would like to read the story, you can go into the description box below and I'll have that story written out for you. Also, if you would like to see the drawing process behind the first part of this video, or the first drawing of this set, you can go ahead and click up in the card, and I'll have a link to that video up there. While working with different drawings, I have found that different drawings present you with different difficulties. So, for instance, in this last drawing of this set, I actually had difficulties with the snow, and I was actually very nervous and procrastinated a little bit while working on the snow. Well, this drawing presented itself with two new difficulties. One was clear back in the planning stages as I was sketching, and I knew that I had to provide the character with the same look and feel as she had in the first part, or the female character in particular. I also had to make sure that the background, because it was supposed to be the same area, had the same feel. In order to accomplish this goal, I actually sat down and with the original next to me, and I started sketching out what the new drawing was going to look like. I was alright with a few minor differences. After all, she was now a little frightened, which will change the expressions on her face. She had moved in a different direction and was no longer moving, so there would no longer be some of those dynamics of her hair and her dress. But I still needed to provide the general feel. Also, that meant that the male character that I drew, which, spoiler, is the snowman from the last video, he had to have the same feel as the female character who I had already established. So I had to work him out with the sketching. So if I was to offer any major advice on this, it'd be don't be afraid to erase. I erased the male character several times until I was happy with how he looked. I also erased several times the female character until I had made her as close to the first rendition of her that I had. And the other thing that I would recommend is that when you look at the background, so as you look at the trees and you're looking at drawing those trees, if you're trying to draw the same background but from a different angle, just keep the general shapes and the general feel. So I kept the fiddle-neck candy canes right in front of that tree, and I kept some of the same ornaments in the same general areas on that tree. But just don't be afraid and have fun. So the first difficulty that I had was to make the picture look like something from the original, especially the main female character. The second difficulty that I had would be the designing of the new character, the new male character. So as with most of my characters, I actually design a backstory for each of the characters. So she is the princess of sweets and Christmas treats, and he is the Frost Prince. So that already gave me an idea of what the color scheme was going to be for this drawing, or at least for his outfit. But what I needed to do after that was design the outfit. So I went through and designed my outfit in a separate sketchbook, and I kept elements from the snowman in the original drawing. So if you would like to go back and look at that, I knew I wanted to have elements that seemed like coal, a lot of blues, which would kind of show the snow element. And he had a green scarf around his neck. And after a lot of playing around with the design, I finally decided that that green from the scarf around his neck was going to be shown in a little Christmas tree at his side. So when I was shading this, I knew also that I wanted it to look rather shiny, because it being shiny would kind of convey the idea of ice and snow. So in order to do that, I went through and I took ice blue and I blended it with Prussian blue, and I used ice blue as the highlight area, and the Prussian blue was the main tone of the entire uniform set. I also knew that I wanted to incorporate his coal eyes and make his coal eyes part of the finished product. So what I did was I made his eyes gray. But as I was drawing several concepts for that, I found that just layering all my grays to create this nice grayscale was actually kind of flat, and the result was very flat. So what I did is at the very base of the eye where the highlight is, I actually put in a little bit of ice blue and then blended that out with my C1 marker. This helped provide depth and dimension to his eyes and make them look a little less dead. I finished up this drawing by using watercolors to create ice effects. A quick note about using watercolors on smooth Bristol. Smooth Bristol will dry very quickly with the watercolors. So if you're trying to create a smooth, kind of dreamy blend with the watercolors, you'll have to work very, very quickly while working. So to create the ice castle in the background, I worked in little sections and put my salt down to create the salt wash. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!